Now that we got Chamonix out of the way, let's move on to the Italian side of the Chamonix ski domain, Courmayeur. Located in the Aosta Valley of Italy, this ski resort provides a mix of challenging descents and family-friendly terrain, and also really stunning views at the top. Unfortunately, we only recorded 8 lifts because we only had one day at Courmayeur during this trip, so we didn't get to explore every single area. And also, there were some parts of the mountain that were closed, like the ARP tramway, so we didn't get to do that. Also, I apologize in advance if I mispronounce the lift names.
But, without further ado, here is a lift ranking for Courmayeur.
Aretù. This 1995 Palma high-speed quad is one of the main chairlifts in the Chécrouit sector, and it takes you up to the top where the Youla tram starts. I like this area not just because the lift is fast, but the slopes are just the right difficulty with just the right kind of snow. The conditions were just right. They were not icy like in New England, but they're also not slushy either. This guy gets a 4.5 out of 5. Bertolini. This 2012 Doppelmayr high-speed quad replaced an old double chair in a new alignment, so now it ends right where Aretù ends. It provides more direct access to the Youla cable car and the Plan de la Gabba area. The lift also serves some pretty challenging slopes like Internazionale and Rocce Bianche. The lift also runs really fast and hardly ever has a line. I remember this lift being a walk-on during my day at Courmayeur. Not too slushy and not too icy. The snow was just right. This lift gets a perfect 5 out of 5. Chécrouit. This 1985 Agudillo 6-person gondola is the main lift in the Chécrouit section of the mountain. From the top, you can access the Youla cable car, or you can go off to the slopes on both sides to the La Grée, Aretù, and Plan de la Gabba areas. Personally, I see this lift as something you only take once and just avoid for the rest of the day because there are chairlift options that get you to the same place. The best option would be Pra Neyron to Aretù because they're both high-speed lifts, and sometimes the gondola can get pretty crowded. So by the time you get off of Pra Neyron, you'll basically be right at the cabins ready to board because the line will be pretty long. 2 out of 5. Dzeleuna. This 2016 Lightner Triple actually came used from another ski resort in Italy, and is mainly used as a connector between Chécrouit and Zerotta. Off the top of the Pra Neyron chairlift, this lift is also used to get to Valveni for those who parked on that side. There really isn't much to this lift other than it being a connector, so it's really only something you ride once during the day if you're on the Valveni side. So I'm giving this a 2 out of 5. Gabba. This 1991 Garaventa high-speed quad serves some advanced trails on the backside of Courmayeur. There's not much to this area, but it's a decent option if the trams are closed because of extreme weather. I rate this a 4 out of 5. Pra Neyron. This 2006 Lightner High-Speed 6 is directly accessible from either the Courmayeur cable car or the Dzeleuna gondola. The top station is located at the base of Monte Chétif, and then from there, skiers can go either down to Dzeleuna or down to Aretù, Bertolini, or Zerotta. I see this as a better alternative to the gondola or Maison Vieille because 1, you don't have to take your skis off, and 2, Maison Vieille is really slow, so this provides good high-speed lift service as an alternative. So for this, I'm giving it a 3 out of 5. Youla. This 25-person tram from the 60s is the second cable car from the bottom of Chécrouit up to ARP. This is where Courmayeur's high alpine terrain shines. From the top, passengers can continue their ascent to ARP from the second cable car, or, like what we did in our case, ski down the red run because the ARP cable car was closed. This tram has a really low capacity, which I'm not a huge fan of because lines can move pretty slow because of that, but it kind of makes sense because the trails are pretty narrow and they don't want the trails to get overcrowded. So for that, I'm giving it a 3 out of 5. Zerotta. This 1992 Lightner high-speed quad starts at the lowest point in Courmayeur and goes all the way up to where Dzeleuna ends. Since it starts at the lowest point at Courmayeur, not counting the trams, but in terms of skiable terrain, basically all the trails kind of funnel to this little area, including from the ARB cable car. This lift is also home to some more intermediate and advanced terrain in the Zerotta and Pendant areas. So this lift gets a 3.5 out of 5. Initially, I was not sure what to expect from our day out of Courmayeur, but once we started skiing, my expectations were exceeded. The snow was just right, they had a decent lift system with some high-speed lifts in important areas, and the après-ski was just through the roof. They even had a little stage for music performances at the base, along with some awesome restaurants at the Chécrouit base. So yeah, Courmayeur is great. I just wish we spent a little more time. I want to thank you all for watching. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and as always, share your thoughts in the comments. Until next time.